This presentation today is on how the Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972 and the Universal Design for Learning, or UDL, play into each other. And this is by Jacob Fields and Monica Berzillo. So first off, we are going to talk about what exactly is Title IX. Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972 is a law that prohibits people on the basis of sex to be excluded from participation in any education program or activity. And this image on the right tells us 9 things that are helpful to know about Title IX and the role that it plays in regards to education, athletics, and anything involving a school. And today, in regards to Universal Design for Learning, we are going to be focusing on number 1, Title IX is a civil right that prohibits sex discrimination in education. And number 7, schools cannot discourage you from continuing your education.
For this image, we just chose this to represent that Title IX is helping to create an environment where every person has equal access to education and sports regardless of sex. It also provides students with protections against harassment within the education or athletic system. Anyone and everyone can access quality education with equal treatment for all students.
Looking back into that image, Title IX, the Section 1 of that image, a civil right that prohibits sex discrimination in education, that relates to UDL because UDL goes on the idea that education is for everyone and that no one can be excluded and that everyone can be represented. And curriculum in schools should be based on that ideal. And Title IX allows for this and helps provide protection for this because they provide across gender lines rules and laws that allow for these UDL ideals to come into play. They allow for an education that is not sex discriminated, allowing both men and women to have access to what UDL has to offer. And this image at the right kind of shows how UDL is a threefold process based on representation, engagement, and action and expression. And Title IX really helps in regards of the representation and engagement pieces of this because it allows for everyone to be represented and engage in the school curriculum. And Title IX is a tool that we can use to ensure that these pieces of the universal design of learning is going to be achieved.
The next piece of that info or that image in the first slide is the Section 7, which schools cannot discourage you from continuing your education. How this relates to UDL is that it provides an inclusive education for all students, or at least ensures it. And this is for all students on the basis of sex, medical conditions, and or special needs. Inclusive meaning the quality, range, and content of the curriculum and other services are available to all students. This is by multiple means of representation, expression, and engagement. For the multiple means of representation, this is how the students will access that knowledge and providing different ways for them to access. For multiple means of expression, this is where students can show what they've learned in many different ways to provide that equal reflection of their skills. And the last thing is engagement, and that's where students are able to come in and get what they want out of their education, following with their interests. So Title IX generally works off the basis of sex. However, if we were to pinpoint the characteristics of the law applying to all students' rights, we can see that bridge connecting UDL and Title IX. Here are our references. So thank you.